Hello YouTube friends and welcome back to Claire's Corner of Calm-ity, where craft, calm and calamity meet. Like that. I've just knocked over the fan, moving the chair back so that I have room. So I am popping in today with a quick video to update you on my Gonk gnome cross stitch. What would you call them for a start? Gonks? Gnomes? Really could go either way, couldn't it? So assuming I have edited and uploaded these all in the right order, I have commented on the clearly AI-ness of this image because there's something weird going on with this bauble up here. And of course, I should have thought about the fact that these clean, beautiful, curvy lines are not realistic to do with something that's inherently made up with squares. However, I remain really excited to get this done and find out what it looks like. I think my brain's got used to the charting now, which it's similar to, that's probably the other side of it, isn't it? There you go. So that relates to that-ish. So it's still kind of brain overload, but I think when I'm actually doing the cross stitch, I'm focused so specifically that it's kind of, my brain's tuning out all of the fuss and mess around me, she says, looking at all the fuss and mess that surrounds her right now, but I mean specifically on the fabric. So what I had done to begin with, and I'll probably have to turn this over to show you, and you can probably see where it's ended up as well. Initially I was starting with the light colours, so again, if I have edited and uploaded, I had started here, made a big balls up straight away by assuming I knew what was happening, using 2 threads and finding out 11 count is supposed to be 3. No idea what count Ada I have worked on historically, but there you go. So I had started with that, and then I was like, I don't know what I was like actually. I don't know what I thought to myself anymore, but for whatever reason I actually ended up a lot starting, that was bad English, starting up in the top corner, and I decided to work, oh that was it, I separated out my threads and they looked so pretty and they're like light, medium, dark in the plastic packaging, which I'd love to take a photo of for you, but I don't think I have one. If I do, I'll pop it up on screen. So that was beautiful, and I decided I'd work through all of the light colours first. Almost instant frustration, because actually, because of the confetti-ness of this, so many of the light colours are ridiculously similar to each other that you can barely tell the difference. She says being able to see the difference now. Typical. But when I was doing it, you could barely see the difference between some of these light colours that made it really pointless to have to keep colour changing. And that was a little bit irritating. I'm just going to briefly zoom so that you can see the whole thing. This is the size of my hands on it, so it's rather large, but you can also see the mess around my house, so including my current diamond dart whip down there. So I'm going to zoom you back in a little bit closer. So started over on the left hand side, was working my way towards the right. Yes, of course I missed various bits along the way because that was bound to happen, which was quite frustrating then, obviously filling in one. I think I finished up all of one of the colours on the legend. I couldn't tell you which one now. I have also finished all the thread of this one, but actually somewhere on this side there is still some of that symbol around. I'm not going to try and find it because, like I say, I'm trying to do this quickly. I'm supposed to be doing various other things that in theory are far more important, but I wanted to do this instead. And, you know, once sometimes win. Because I was doing that, and because sometimes you were literally talking about, like, just a couple of stitches. That is just 2 there, and then that's still a red square symbol there. So I've got all these odd stitches because I was focused initially on the light colours, and it was really frustrating. However, it did lead me to learn. I'm going to turn this over so you can see the back briefly. It did lead me towards learning how to do various different start and finish methods when it comes to cross stitch, because of obviously one stitch at a time. So you can see there's places where I've trailed quite considerably. There's some of the nice sort of bluey colour. It's a bluey purpley colour. I don't know how well you can see it. That's the edging around the beard. However, that's been finished since I changed what I was doing. So where was I going with this? This is my danger thread. So this is not secured by anything and actually starts a stitch. So I need to get to that one as soon as possible. Up until literally a few days ago, that was kind of how it was looking on the back in terms of what I've done, which is easier to see. But you can see there's all these trailing threads everywhere, which it's not an ideal back for a cross stitch. However, I'm also not that fussy. Why did I change my mind? Because over here, and I am going to hold it that way up. Oh, my eyes are doing strange things. I'm going to hold it this way up for you and do this. So because of, I was starting with a pin stitch, but what I was doing was using something called knot away in terms of finishing. So the idea there is that like these threads here probably, well, do relate to, come on phone, pick it up. So these stitches here, I've basically finished off the stitches. Come on, focus, says the ADHD woman. There. So I did the stitches, and then to finish off the thread, because there wasn't enough on the back to sort of do your usual finish off method, what I've done is come up through the Ada a few stitches away, and some of them were loose before I learned knot away rather than just, you know, slope away. And then I started knotting them. However, the further I was going and the more of the colours I was doing, they were getting, one, really irritating, and two, some of them, the knots were coming undone. And some of them, in terms of trying to save thread, I tried to do the knot really close to the fabric. And then sometimes, there you go, there's an example. And sometimes I was also snipping it off too close, so that like it was really getting in the way of working anything around it. By this point in time, I have realised there's this method called parking. I watched a video, if I can remember or find the link, I will put it across screen, because despite the length of it, it was actually really, really useful in terms of sort of properly explaining parking as opposed to sort of quick shorts or anything. And I decided to give this parking thing a go. And so we have almost a full bauble. Now let me just, oh gosh, I threw it away. Let us compare. That is what it's supposed to look like. So clearly nothing like the image, and yet there is a semblance of it there. And I'm not disappointed yet. I am reserving judgment on what the entire thing will look like because I am invested. But yeah, so parking away, it was an absolute pain in the bottom doing like the first grid. But as I think it's Amy's something. So as Amy was saying, once you've set up all your parking, it is so much easier to carry on. Now she talks about going down or across, which I was doing to start with. My aim is that I'm going across the whole of the top row and then working down. But sometimes depending on where the next colour is, I'm ending up going down. So I've been trying parking. And that means I've been able to get rid of loads of these like tufty bits that have been really annoying. So I love that. I mostly love the parking method. I do worry sometimes about how far it's trailing. I don't like this about the parking method. It just feels a bit too grotty on the back. And yeah, I don't think there's actually an easier way to do it. I don't love this. Like, I think when I did the first 100 or 100 squares, I had 18 different colours that were being parked elsewhere then. And as you can see, I've now also ended up with some all the way over here, because that's like when the next thing of that happens. So yeah, I don't like this, although thankfully haven't had any major knot catastrophes as yet. Mostly I'm loving the parking method, I have to say. I think I might be converted. Was there anything else to say about this? I was thinking, so all of this creamy colour up here, of which there's lots, that's the blue square legend. So obviously there's loads of it all over the place. I was thinking about leaving that until the very end, and then I thought that's pretty pointless. So I have been doing it as I go. I don't think there's anything else to report. I think that was it. That was my update. So yeah, bullet pointing that all over again. It's not coming out like it was supposed to, but that was probably to be expected. I'm loving, oh sorry, major wobble. I'm loving a pin stitch start. I hated knotting away in the end. I'm loving parking so far, with a couple of caveats. I mean, I don't like doing the dark first and then doing the light over the top, but I'm just going to trust that it's not going to show through once it's completed. Was there anything else to add? No, I don't think so. I'm still very excited to get it done and to see. I have decided, because I've purchased a few other smaller cross stitches, I may well start cracking those out, just because sometimes this is a bit much. And I'm worried about how long it's going to take me and how much of my life it's taking over, because if I have time, I'm not necessarily doing the things that I ought to be doing, such as, you know, the washing up, cleaning, decluttering. It's kind of taking over a little bit, so I need to be careful about that. This is why I usually only do jigsaw puzzles at Christmas, because it limits how much of my life it takes over, whereas this is obviously has the potential to take over my life for quite some time. But anyway, thank you for joining me for my Gonk update. What are you currently working on? Are you loving it or hating it? Have you come across the pin stitch? Have you come across knot away? Have you come across parking? What techniques and strategies have you tried that maybe I need to look out for, or you love or hate? I'm really interested to know what else is around, because there's never just one way to do things, is there? Thank you so much for joining me once again in my little corner of the internet, and I hope to see you again here soon.